You've eaten Gotham's wealth, its spirit, but your feast is nearly over.
This isn't a blood hole. It's an operating table. And I'm the surgeon. Why aren't you laughing?
From this moment on, none of you are safe.
Welcome to the Batman Book Club, a podcast exploring the Dark Knight Library. I'm your host, Ryan Lauer. The Batman Book Club is a proud member of the Batman Podcast Network, hosted by Batman on Film. Just go to batmanonfilm.com, click on podcasts, and you'll find the Batman Podcast Network. There's a whole list of other Bat-related shows that like to dive into other nerdy subjects we all love to frolic about in our free time. Batman Book Club is also on Patreon. If you like what's going on with the show and you want to help support the show, keep those generators running in the Wayne Manor study. There we go. Just go to patreon.com/thebatmanbc. Now, thank you for listening to episode 119, Batman in August. The end of another month, which means it's another wrap-up episode with my pal. You're very familiar with his voice, his shenanigans, his mystical rewrites and performances of the smoker of all things meat and Boudin pockets. Peter R. Verra. Peter, welcome back to the Batman Book Club, my friend.
Hello, Ryan. How are you?
Hello. Doing great. Great, fabulous, wonderful. We're going to talk some Batman. I'm always a fan of that with you.
I heard
these are
don't
highlights
like
every
Batmans.
month.
I heard on Twitter you
Oh.
don't like Batman. Someone said
Oh,
on Twitter
really?
you don't like- yeah.
I think that person's been shut down. I filed a complaint to Twitter, so
okay.
don't worry.
Okay. So another grifter. Another grifter.
Yeah, another
on Twitter.
grifter. So long, Eric Holzman.
Yeah, we know
the
he's a
complaint
grifter.
department has been disconnected. So how are you? What's going on?
I'm good. How are you? I'm ready to enjoy this wonderful weekend we have coming up.
Yes.
And hopefully it'll be spent reading even more Batman comics.
More Batman comics.
That's the greatest thing to do, is to read more Batman comics.
Read my Batman comics. Pete, you and I talked not too long ago. Well, we talk every day, but we recorded not too long ago, because I'll plug it now on the Batman Book Club YouTube channel is our next part of the Road to No Man's Land journey through the omnibus that you and I are going through. Our third month. It's going well.
Yeah, I enjoy it thoroughly. I hope you do.
I am
It's
enjoying it a lot.
Yeah, it's my favorite storyline, and I love talking about it with you.
Yeah, this was the first part where I got to have like a Pete, like this connection slash revelation, and you're like, yes, I knew that was coming. You didn't know it was coming, so it's fun to see your reaction to it, and that, of course, was to a certain character. That's all I'll say.
Quake Master,
of course. Also,
Batman's
somebody that's part of the
arch-enemy.
GCPD. So there you go.
That's
Yes, so a
it.
lot of fun. Go to the Batman Book Club on YouTube and go ahead and check those out. There's 3 parts. They're only about half hour each. As we're breaking down the Road to No Man's Land omnibus and the many issues involved in that story. But enough with that. Let's talk about Batman comics in August. Peter, we always got to start with my book that I write reviews for on Batman on Film, and that, of course, is the Batman title, in which Batman number 126 kicked off the first Tuesday of this month, written by Chip Zdarsky, illustrated by Jorge Jimenez, and so we were I got things to say.
Yeah, please tell me.
Last month, I loved this issue, or the first issue of this team. I loved it. It was my favorite issue of the month.
Really?
The end tease was like AI failsafe, which AI is never it just doesn't really suck me in stories. I get a little bored with it. But I said I'll give him benefit of the doubt and see where it goes. This is just like a very long action scene that ends up bringing in the entire Bat family, and Batman just gets his ass kicked. I think the drawings from Jimenez are great. characterizations are great of the characters and of everybody involved. I really enjoyed this issue. I didn't think it drew me in as much as last month, but I still thought that it was just, I don't know, it was an action packed issue that showed that this failsafe thing is a massive threat. And I don't want to talk about the ending just yet because I want you to speak your piece because I think you have some differing things.
Yeah, the art's really great. Jimenez as always brings it. Batman fighting a robot's stupid. I don't care what you're saying, and that's the same problem I have with the Batman Beyond book. It's just give me a real villain. This does nothing for me. This is, I mean, it looks great. That's all I could say. Characterization is really good. The ending totally throws me off. I'm like, Jesus, like you guys are totally doing something that I have no interest in right now. As good as the art is, I don't know. I'm just like, I'll take Joker War any day over Batman fighting a fake Terminator. Like, I'm sorry, I just will. And then when he goes to the end and he starts coming out like Rainbow Batman, I'm like, no, I'm not doing this Zen Ra thing. Like, it was stupid when they did it the first time. It's dumb now it's being brought back. I think RIP is horrible. It's just, you want to turn me off on a Batman book? Everything they did right here is exactly what turns me off on a Batman book. The backup story was better than the primary, and it's written, I believe Zdarsky wrote it himself. Yeah, so if anything, that's the story to read. As soon as I see Batman come out looking red and purple, I'm just like, enough's enough. I can't stand it. Now we're gonna go and play this like mental mind game of inside Batman's brain because he can't figure. He's got to go deep and dig, and like I already know how the story's gonna end. Like I was like, this is that's why I hate this stupid Zen Earn Raw Batman. Like it's such a stupid concept. I'd rather have Gordon with a mohawk in a robot suit than watch Bruce Wayne walk around like a package of fruit stripe gum.
All right, so I do love that you have called Batman of Zernar Zernar. There we go.
Yeah, it's a stupid name, so it doesn't even deserve to be said properly.
Yeah. So when it got to that part, much like I said last month with the fail safe and give benefit of the doubt, I'll also give benefit of the doubt because there has been, and I'll use Hush for example. So except the story of Hush and the character of Hush, I thought the story is good. It's a Jim Lee showcase, but the character of Hush and all that, it's like, I don't know. I have my complaints, my nitpicks.
Hush is an actual person. It's an actual character.
So, but that concept of Hush and what the history and connection to Bruce Wayne and everything, it was handed off to another talent in Paul Dini, who made that character so much better and the story involving Hush so much better than what was before. And I think, I'll give benefit of the doubt. I'm not a big fan of Batman Zernar. Didn't care for it in RIP. You can go back and listen to the episode I did with Javi on it for this show.
I did. So, Javi, please don't listen to this.
And I'll give Zdarsky benefit. Like, I don't know. I'm going to read this title. I have to anyway because I reviewed it on BOF. And I'll give him, I don't know. I'll give him a chance and see what he does with it. It doesn't excite me.
I've given Zdarsky enough chances on Batman at this point. Between this and the Night, I'm like, new writer. I'm sorry, I'm not feeling you, dude. I for the type of writer that Zdarsky is, the material he's putting out, and frankly, is just embarrassing. It just is. It's
all right.
It's not good. It's not good. His Batman is not good. He should just. His Daredevil's amazing. I love his writing overall, but this is not entertaining. I'm sorry.
Not entertaining you. All right.
You give me Tynan and Ghostmaker, and I'll be a lot happier than whatever.
Batman you settle down.
No, you calm down.
Right there.
That is much better than this robot crap. I'm sorry. You're already making Bruce Wayne the smartest guy in the room to the point where he's got to outsmart himself. Like, oh God, narcissistic Tony Stark wannabe. Give me a break.
I'm waiting to see what the connection on why he has to go again to this backup Batman system mentally thing, which I just don't like. I just don't like that. But of like, what's the purpose for that, and how is it applied to where I can judge this arc? I'll judge this arc when it wraps and we see what Zdarsky's done.
I think the concept of that. I think the concept of Bruce Wayne being in his own mind is brilliant. I think the execution of how they've gone about it is absolutely just laughable. Okay. And that's going back decades. Like, I don't need this purple Batman flying around. No, it's so like I feel like Tim Drake. I think I'm sitting there like, What?
Okay. Speaking of Tim Drake, I did see some conversation about the way Batman talks to him on that second page of this issue.
Yeah, it's not good.
That's not good. You don't think that's good. So what is it about that? This is an entrapment, Pete. I'm just kind of wondering because I read it and I didn't really think twice about it, and then I did see this conversation about it, so I went back and reread
this
it.
This actually goes back to characterization. This is a characterization flaw. I
Okay.
actually praise the characterization. Now I'm going to take it back. It just seems like they're pitting Batman against Robin. It just seems like no, you're not ready. Like, okay, like, you know, no, don't do that, bad boy, don't do that. You know, I don't know. And then I don't think Drake would respond this way. This is more of a Jason Todd interaction, like how defiant he is. You know, like Tim would most likely follow Batman's orders and mumble under his breath and not just fly away. You know, like
it's just been a long time, I think, since I've seen this kind of talk down from Bruce to Tim.
To anyone.
Because it seems like in my lifetime, I'm reading a lot of comics. There is a lot less butting heads of Bruce and Tim than Bruce and any of the other Robins. They are always kind of like in sync in partners and stuff. Yeah. And so I just kind of like read it fast the first time. And then I saw some people talking about it. And so I went back and read it. And I'm like, yeah, I guess that like looking at it, reading it a little closer, it does feel a little like, I don't know. Is this not exactly that part?
What are you doing? The same as you, my job. Like, it's just, oh God.
Not fully necessary to progress the story further. So there you go. Pete is not happy with Batman 126. I liked it. I think overall I give it a solid B because I thought it was a good action issue. But again, we'll see what happens with Batman Zero and R.
C plus because Catwoman is better than the primary.
So the Catwoman backup.
Did you read the backup story?
Yes, I did.
You enjoyed it.
It's awesome.
Yeah, good stuff. So I don't hate Zdarsky. Clearly, I don't. I just don't like where this is going. That's all.
Well,
I'm still reading this Daredevil.
Yeah, you are. Moving on, the next issue, Flashpoint Beyond #4, written by Jeff Johns, Tim Sheridan, and Jeremy Adams, with art by Zermanica. And I think there's more. Yes, Michael. I can never pronounce his last name. Janin. I don't know. He did 2 pages. This is another good issue. I really like this story. I was not able to go back and read all the issues prior to this, so I made it a mission to make sure I do that for this next round.
Of this story, or are you talking like
of this story, of the Flashpoint Beyond #0, and then now 1 through 4 before I read 5. Worst case scenario, I'll read them all before the finale in October, issue #6. But
Haas pointed this out. You're a big rereader. I gotta go reread this before I go read that. Like
I just really want to make sure that I make the connections because I might have just totally forgot. Like, this is issue 4. There may be a small reference that this is referring to this that happened quickly in issue #0, and I don't remember because Pete, you and I are reading like 30 comic books a month.
You know why I appreciate that? That's because you're putting in the work.
Putting in the work. I'm trying.
Putting in the work.
Trying to put in the work. But no, I thought this was. I mean, it carries on. It's cool. It's what more of what we've been getting. The story is evolving. We do get the identity, which we're trying to stay spoiler free when we do these wrap ups. We get a character appearing in this issue therefore in this story for the first time, which is really exciting. I thought it was another fun issue. Did you get the Home Alone reference?
No, okay. I did not.
When little boy Dent, like I forget his name, and that's why I need to reread all these. When he's down in the cave and he's packing up, and he says, "This is it." You turn the page. Don't get scared now. That's Kevin McAllister right before the Wet Bandits show up at his house at the end. And
I never would have put that together.
This is it. Don't get scared now. Like, and he cocks the BB gun there in the kitchen. I love that. It made me very excited because I like Home Alone references. But anyways, take it away. Quality issue, I think.
This is a comic book. This is a masterfully written comic book. This wipes away.
This is a comic book, and I'm like, That's true. It is a comic book.
Yeah, no,
Peter,
this
but
is
okay.
but this
Grade
is
A.
this is a comic book. This
All
is
right.
what comic books are meant to be. This is exactly what you want when you spend $4. Is it $4? Yeah, $4 at the comic book shop. Twists, turns, great storytelling. Even moments that some people will not pick up on, like I did it with your Home Alone thing, but just the inclusion of the Dents and what it seems to be that they are the backbone of this story, which is even more fascinating because Harvey's not around. It is Mrs. Dent, it is the kids. And it seems that Harvey's son's got a little bit of Robin in him, which is very interesting. And we get a little bit of Batman and Squirrel Boy. Like I forget what Eric Carter knows that kid's name. I cannot remember Davy Crockett's son's name, but we get a little bit more information there. Who refresh my memory? You got to refresh my memory because who is this character that popped up that we didn't? Am I missing something? Because this book does come out early in the week, so sometimes
this is like the first of the month, and we record at the end of the month.
Yeah,
but the one that I'm talking about, I'll show you.
Oh yes. Well, okay, all right, yeah, which is fun because that character.
Some listening, they don't read every issue, so that's why I'm trying to just like
I get
big
you.
spoilers. I don't want to do
that. Character pops up, and you're like, oh, I forgot you're in this universe.
Yeah, and I'm like, I'm all for it. But I'm cool, awesome.
I also like everything
that I know the
clock.
Identity of Squirrel Boy.
The clock is very interesting. Like I appreciate the Thomas Wayne detective skills.
Yeah,
like no matter who is Batman, they always seem to be a great detective in any universe.
Mm-hmm.
This is just fascinating to me, man, because I'm like, how did this universe come back? And we've had Thomas Wayne pop up in various stories before. He's popped up in Tom King's Batman and the Joshua Williamson's Justice League Incarnate. So you're wondering is like, well, when did you pop back? When did this all kind of happen? So many questions around this Flashpoint universe and this.
Too many questions.
It's almost a shame that we only have 2 issues left. I kind of wish this was like a future state Gotham where it just kept going. I would appreciate that type of Elseworlds.
I don't know. I like that there's 2 issues left, and that's it on this story. And then I guess we'll see on if it's successful enough, or if the talent have enough ideas for another. I like non-ongoing stories because they have in mind an ending.
Are you more of a mini series or a maxi series?
Mini.
I'm a maxi. I could give me 12 good issues. I'm really good with that. But I can see what you're saying with a mini series.
I just think so this is funny because the issue number 0 might have been a double issue, and then 6 issues, which overall makes it almost like 8 in its entirety here, this Flashpoint Beyond. Good call. I do think 8 is a sweet spot. And I don't only say that because Sean Murphy's White Knight series have been 8 issues each time, but there is something about 12. I feel like there's always a little bit of meandering. 6 sometimes can feel, aside from the next one that we're going to talk about, can feel like it's too short, and maybe there's a little bit of fleshness, a little bit of fleshing out. But props to the art from Zermanico because it's still really cool. I love this cover, the Vitruvian Man with Thomas Wayne Batman on it. I think it's just like might be the best cover so far. So Flashpoint Beyond, 2 issues left.
Question.
I'm a big fan, and I'll probably double dip on this when a collected hardcover comes out.
I have a trade of Flashpoint? Maybe, it depends. Absolute edition, yes.
Yeah.
If there ever becomes an absolute edition,
it's got to go next to the absolute Flashpoint that we
exactly
that we got.
This is just me being total Twitter fanboy speculation idiot with no real sense. Does the fact that Beyond in this title, have you ever thought maybe a Batman Beyond would pop up in it? I'm just curious because it seems very specific.
That's true. No, I haven't, which is funny because Beyond is right there in the title, and it's about Batman. And I've never thought we'd get Batman Beyond coming on. So maybe you're onto something. I'm not going to sit here and say that like no or yes because I have no freaking clue. And so
it just popped in my head.
Maybe we can, if Batman Beyond does not show up by the end of this story, we can start a hashtag campaign against Tim Sheridan and be like, "Where's the justice for Terry McGinnis?"
I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, I'm not going to do that either.
I will
Please,
not do
nobody
that.
do that.
Please.
Stop.
No, I'll not do that.
Flashpoint Beyond. It's doing good things. Pete and I are big fans.
Big
We're loving the
fans.
story.
Big fan.
Also moving on. This is a huge first Tuesday, Peter, of the month. We're
Mhm.
both big fans of a story that concluded Batman Killing Time.
Yeah.
Tom King, David Marquez on art. Pete, you have been nothing but singing praises for this book from the beginning, so I think you should have the first crack
This
at
is
it.
great. It's just absolutely brilliant. The Clock King and Batman, like their interactions are great. Just watching how the Clock King has this thing figured out is great. And you know, I love I'm a little bummed out about Oswald. Like I asked, I was like, do you think Oswald bit the bullet there at the end?
No.
You don't think he's dead?
I hadn't read it yet, and you asked me, do you think that you asked me about that on if I thought he was dead, and I was like, I haven't read it yet. And then you never responded to me again. I'm like, I bet Pete's like, damn it.
Well, what's the answer? Do you think he's dead?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, because that's the only thing I do. I was like, that's my only critique. Is like, I hate when they kill Oswald.
No, because he got hit in the face with a batarang that knocked him out, knocked him off of his stool.
Is that what it was? Did I miss that? I thought he drank a poison drink.
No, he's right in the middle of drinking, and then there's the batarang up there.
How did I miss that battle? Okay,
I don't know, because it even says crunk.
Okay, because I guess it's just the initial shock of just Oswald on the floor.
Settles your nerves a little bit. They did not kill Penguin twice in 2 months.
I'm like, where they killed Oswald again? This is the second comic book in 2 months. Like, what are they doing?
So there you go. This issue just got even better for you because Oswald is not dead.
It gets bumped up half a letter grade because Oswald's not dead.
All right, good. There you go.
I love my pudgy little penguin.
Yeah.
Everything with the detective and her like journey back and how she basically blames Batman for everything. I thought that was really captivating. I haven't even mentioned the Help or the Riddler or Catwoman. This might be King's most intertwined work ever.
Yeah.
This is so worth rebuying hardcover. I think
I'm going to, and I believe that it's slated to come out in December.
This is
I'll be
perfect for the holiday season. This will go down as a classic story. I think this is his finest Batman work. Really.
I'm gonna wait and we'll see. Give it a little time and read it and with that hardcover. Read it in a I can't do.
I just
this
think
in
it
one sitting.
marinates
It's
so well.
It's very deep to where it is probably 2 or 3 sittings for me. But then I'll revisit that discussion and that claim. I do
Batman Killing Time is like dry aged meat. It's just like, oh god, the longer it sits, the better.
Pete knows the meats too, so I do like Batman sitting next to Clock King, and Clock King's going on this long talk, and then Batman just does a crack.
Yeah,
pops him in the face.
Great. It's perfect.
I mean, how did you take the ending then? That last page of Clock King on the plane and what he's got, and I don't know. What do you think?
It just seems like is this all for nothing? Like, does the Clock King even really care about this? Like, it's so interesting. Like, it's just, did he just want to cause havoc? Like, what was his actual motivation? Now that he's got the eye, right? Like,
yeah.
Now what?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's he has it, but is all this just to get that? It's very interesting.
I don't know.
We're going to talk about probably that Riddler story in a little bit, and I have some interesting things to say on that.
You have ideas? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's keep moving along then. So, Pete, we will have no more Batman Killing Time to read in these monthly wrap-ups. Sad, but also
That's fine. It's a $5 book.
I do like there being endings to stories, and it's not ongoing. We have an ending here that I think was fitting. It worked. Batman Killing Time. Look for the hardcover if you haven't been buying it month to month. Coming out here in a couple months, and it's worth it. Definitely. Let's move on to one that you might have the opposite things to say. Batman Beyond Neo Year number 5. It is completely confirmed now that next month is issue number 6, and that's the conclusion. And I'm ready for it because this is very close to like issue 2 in the sense of the 3-headed green dreadlock, whatever the hell is going on here. Pete, I don't really know what's going on in the story. And then it also, I felt like it got lazy in the sense of I don't know how to make sure that like we keep moving. So then it does this. It took me a while to be able to read that said it's 3 months later in text. Um, and
Mhm.
I don't know. I don't like this story. In the end, I just don't like it. And I think I've been kind to it on these wrap ups and talking to you and being very much like finding some positives. This month's issue was really tough for me to read and not just bail on it. And I don't look forward to reading the conclusion next month. I just I don't know. I don't like this story.
This book sucks. I'm so pissed off. I wasted my money on this. It's not good at all.
Mhm.
I think it had one issue that I enjoyed. I won't buy issue 6. I feel so bad because I'm just trashing. I feel like I'm trashing everything today. I'm with you. I don't understand who these 3 purple dreadlocked creatures were. I just everything about it. I don't like this. This is not good Batman Beyond.
I don't think so either.
There are good Batman Beyond stories.
I'm not
out
the
there. This
biggest
is not
Batman
one of them.
Beyond fan, but I can definitely respect it and then recognize of like, man, that for a major
And this was
Batman
teased in Urban
Beyond
Legends.
fan,
That's where
yeah,
this came out of. So, and that tease worked because it got me to buy it. I was like, oh, this seems cool. And it was not.
got me to read it. And so yeah, unfortunately, I think it have next issue will have to do like some amazing things. But otherwise, the next like Batman Beyond book that launches, I'm avoiding it. Like I'm not gonna read it. I'm just like I have no interest. This
Batman
book,
Beyond's been very hit or miss for them lately.
ugh,
The run before this was very good, but the run during like New 52 was bad.
yeah,
And it was kind of weird going up until Rebirth.
yep.
But yeah, my man Dan Jurgens did a wonderful Batman Beyond. I believe it was Jurgens with Robin. He finally gave Batman Beyond to Robin,
Oh,
and that was
nice.
fun. So if you want to read good Batman Beyond, check those stories out. I really like those. Those are collected in trade. So you'll get the whole story one shot. Yeah, I would just Batman
There's
Beyond
also
is
some other Batman
not
Beyond
good.
content we'll talk about here soon. Um,
Yeah, there's
but
more.
let's just wait on that. So Batman Beyond Neo Year, a big pass from Pete and I.
Yeah.
Burp. Pete, I did not read, but you are up on it, and I feel like is it maybe Dark Crisis on Infinite Earth, issue number 3. It's retitled now. Is Batman involved in this?
It doesn't get retitled, I think, until 4 because on the cover it just says Dark Crisis.
Okay.
But yeah, it is Dark Crisis on Infinite Earths.
Is Batman involved, or is this an honorable mention? Or does
This would
need to
probably be
included
more
in
of an
the
honorable
main-
mention because of how
Okay.
Nightwing is involved and how intricate Nightwing is to the plot,
Okay.
as well as Robin. Like but also Batman is a big deal too because Batman's not around, right? Well,
Yeah.
the Justice League in general is not around. Really good Green Lantern stuff in here. Joshua Williamson does just wonders. The Justice League is not dead, as we all knew, but they are trapped somewhere. There's this interesting world that Hal Jordan travels to. This feels like to me like it's going to be a classic Crisis. It feels like it's building up really well. It's very heavy emotionally. Characters, some characters think characters have passed and whatever, so they're mourning. While in the meantime, they can't mourn. They have to save the world and the universe and the multiverse and all that jazz. So, this just seems like a very good DC event to me,
Event
and
book.
it's been like I feel like we haven't had a good Crisis in a while. Convergence didn't do it for me, and I think there was one before that or after it. I can't remember, but this feels like they're back on track, and I think everyone should read it.
There you go, from the man himself. Moving
Will I
along.
get Lauer to read it? Will I get Lauer to read it? Is the question.
When it's all out and collected, I'll read it. When it comes to Hoopla,
Because you didn't like the original, did you?
I wasn't a huge fan. No.
Jeez, just starting to question this guy's
Zip it.
dedication.
Zip it. You said you even just said 10 minutes ago. I do the work. Come on.
I know, but then sometimes every once in a while it's like, maybe I spoke too soon.
Oh, shut your mouth.
Shut your mouth.
Pete, also, Batman White Knight Presents Red Hood #1 came out this month.
Mhm.
I'm gonna wrap both of them up into this because it came out the 1st and the 4th Tuesdays of this month. So the two issue interlude all came out this month. Written by Clay McCormick, who was a guest in the last episode. Check it out.
Friend of the show,
Yes.
because this is a great show,
Well,
hosted by a great host.
Bless you, Pete.
I was talking
Bless
about
your soul.
myself.
Okay, yes. But the first issue had Simone DeMeo on the art, whereas issue
Favorite
number
of
2
mine.
had George Cambadeus, and then like a couple pages of Simone DeMeo also. Listen to the Batman on Film interview that me and Javi Trujillo did with Sean Murphy this month, and Sean actually explains why there's a change in artists on the book. But overall, I thought it was a breeze of a read. I thought it worked well. It's a hard thing to bring in a likable character, a new likable character, especially someone who's claiming themselves as being a Robin. But this Gan character was like instantly likable, I think.
Yeah.
Had a very good Carrie Kelly vibe, I think, also. And Jason had just enough like Jason characteristics where he is like he's a little bit of a shit, but then also just enough too that makes you root for him and like him, which you and I have said like this past year many times, that they've found their way with Jason Todd now.
It's
Because
probably
there
the
was
most remarkable turnaround ever.
it
in
is
character
because
history.
you were the champion for a long time of saying he's served better Batman better dead
Yeah.
than alive. And maybe
I still think that's
you
true.
still think that, but
I still
he's
think it's
kind
true.
of, there's been a lot of redemption on the character of coming back these past few years. There's been some good stories, and this, I mean, he gets the spotlight in this, and like I don't know, I like this 2-issue. It's no secret
Is that all this
I'm
is just 2 issues?
Yes, I'm a sucker of the White Knight universe. It all just seems to click for me. I like all of it. And yeah, this, I mean, we had the Harley Quinn tie-in, the Von Fries intermission.
That was good too.
That was really good. The Harley Quinn spinoff 6-issue series, that was really good. This, I think both of those are right in line of being very, very good. And then it's also, Sean had said that there's going to be another spinoff coming after this Beyond the White Knight wraps up. So like I'm all in on these, but this story I think is good in the sense of like Jason learns a lot and evolves as a character. There's some good action with a Batman Beyond villain, and in a way it's like you get disappointed in a big decision that Jason makes, but then there's also a little bit of redemption for him too. And I think we also will get to see Gan in the back half of Beyond the White Knight. So I was a big fan of these two tie-in issues.
It seems to me that everything outside of Curse has really stood out to me.
Yeah.
I didn't enjoy Curse.
I was gonna say you weren't a big fan of Curse, which is fine.
No, but everything else I've loved, and this is almost as good in a short amount of time as that Harley Quinn spinoff. I don't think anything is as good as Von Fries. I think that might be the best of the spinoffs, even though that was a one shot.
Yeah,
I just think it packed a real good punch. But this is great, and there seems to be a little bit of Dick Grayson in this Jason Todd. I know we all know
get that.
Murphy kind of remixed things. He did things his way. You know, we know in this universe Jason Todd is the original Robin here. So I could see why there's some similar traits there, just slightly different. But this Jason almost serves as a mentor. You know, he's not pushing away this new Robin. He seems very kind of open to it. And she was very captivating. I was surprised, almost like a fangirl. She's almost like Ms. Marvel. You know,
I haven't watched, so.
But no, as the fangirl who then becomes the superhero, like the basic concept of the character. And I dig that, and you know, just I mean, the thing that stands out to me is how book 1 opens. You know, you just go back to that, and you know, Jason doesn't die. Jason runs away, and you know the Joker had no intention of killing him because all the Joker wanted was the ultimate betrayal. And I was like, you know what, that might work better than the original story. You know, when you think about it. So it's fascinating to me how Murphy has been able to craft literally his own universe by himself. And it's fascinating. It's shocking to me there's been no animation to come out of this.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean,
really,
maybe
because with how popular it's been,
it's
coming out,
if they were to do something in animation with it, they don't have to. But but speaking as a fan, it'd be like, you've got to include Sean Murphy though, because I could totally see you guys not including him and you totally botching it, by not having the one who's kind of created this involved.
Yeah, but I mean, I'd have faith in Tucker. I mean, I would imagine it's be like a Tucker, Lou, Tim type of
Sure.
production, and I don't think they,
Yeah.
there's not much those
there you
guys
go.
ever screw up.
James Tucker, Bruce Timm, Sam Liu, Paul Dini. Get them involved, and I'd be like, okay, let's see what's let's see what's cooking.
But
you guys are okay.
I don't know if we all know the merger is creating hell for the live action side, so maybe things for animation are a little bit in flux as well. So, but
but that's okay because I'm getting my fill in the comics.
No, it's great. I'm not complaining. I can't complain.
Live action and animation, we're all like, but comics, comics are we're still sitting good with comics.
Yeah.
All right, that wraps up. Pete, that is like 30 minutes just on the first Tuesday, but we're gonna breeze through the rest of the month. I think. I don't know. So they're
really
Tuesday,
trying us. They're really trying us.
They are. I Am Batman number 12.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't read this, surprising no one, but Pete has. I would need to start including these because Pete reads them. Batman is in the title, so go ahead and sell us all on the book.
This is really good. It's starting to kind of get a little slow for me. It's kind of okay, like, well, all right, what's next? What's happening?
Yeah.
But yeah, it just seems like some of the things that I've really enjoyed early on in the story have been kind of repetitive. Like, okay, corrupt government. You got this tense relationship between Batman and this detective from Gotham. Now Montoya's on the scene. She, okay, I appreciate if Ridley kind of sped it up a little bit. I still think it's good. I still think it's entertaining. I just feel like, okay, I feel like I've read this issue before. That's all.
Okay. All right. I have nothing to add to it. So there you go. Also coming out
doesn't
that
read
Tuesday.
enough Batman comics.
I don't read enough. Read more Batman comics, Ryan. Also, that Tuesday was Batman Urban Legends number 18. Last month was the first time that I told you that I think they nailed from cover to cover a Batman Urban Legends issue. And then they followed it up with the exact opposite for me because of the 4 stories. I liked 1, 2 were meh, and 1 I did not like. I don't know if I want to sit through and read all of them again next month.
Really?
I mean, probably no surprise is the one that I did like was the Batman and Robin in Night Terrors. I did like that one. I did not like Batman and Etrigan the Demon in Blood In and Blood Out. I'm not an Etrigan fan. And the story itself, I was not feeling it at all. Signal and the Outsiders, I skimmed through and I saw Batman was in it, so I read it and was pretty like meh. And then the Pennyworth Files I thought was meh. So not an enjoyable read for me.
I
disagree.
I really I enjoyed this book. I thought Signal and the Outsiders was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. I enjoy seeing Duke. I wish he would get a different costume. I think he's too bright, too much yellow for me. But I really enjoy that. I loved how Batman and the Outsiders came to Duke and like, hey, we're here for you. Like, I love that team aspect of that. And because sometimes the Outsiders are kind of like, it's almost like a-hole Batman. He's like, all right, you guys figure it out. I got stuff. Yeah. I thought that was great. I enjoyed that. Batman and Etrigan, I'm with you on that. Did not enjoy that. Pennyworth Files, I found really interesting. I'm really digging these Alfred stories. I liked Pennyworth. I like Pennyworth Files. I'm into it. It's cool to see Alfred get his hands dirty. The Batman and Robin story was the best story of the book. And surprisingly, Bell and Bo, the end story, totally wasn't expecting it to be what it was, but found it very interesting and well written. And I kind of dug it. And I appreciate Batman being like, all right, I'll just let these small timers will go for now. I got bigger fish to fry. I
got bigger fish to fry.
Yeah. You want to go 10 rounds with Muhammad Shrek? Yeah. Overall, I think I'm going to go the opposite with you. I think this is a good book. Get a lot of bang for your buck. Again, Etrigan's just weird to me. It's very hit or miss. So
no surprise here. The only Etrigan that I flat out did like was Azarello and Bermejo's version in Batman Damned.
That's funny.
A Bermejo, a character, of course. Yep, that's the one I like. That's it for that.
Created by Bermejo?
No, his interpretation.
Oh,
Let's go that route.
Okay.
His interpretation of a character is one I like. Next one was one that I have been counting down the days to Pete, and I do mean that. The One Bad Day series finally kicked off, and the first month is with Tom King, Mitch Gerads, Batman One Bad Day, The Riddler #1. I thought this was fantastic. This is, if this is what we're getting for the next 7 months, because it's 8 one shots the next 8 months. If this is what we're getting, I strap in. I'm all in on this, because I do kind of feel as this is the equivalent of Joker's Killing Joke. Is Riddler's One Bad Day. And if that's initially what they're trying to do with the series for each month and each character, like, hell yes. I thought this was dark. It was kind of depraved. The Riddler, it seems kind of unstoppable. It ends without a very clear, like, oh, there's the end sort of deal. It makes, like, it leaves you thinking by the time that the issue's over. I can't wait to read it over again. I did think that Edward's dad definitely looked like Red Foreman. And that made me happy. I just think that this was a very successful launch for this series.
I like the concept. I'm with you. The whole One Bad Day, like this is how they became who they are. I think that's cool. There's certain parts I didn't like about it. At times it felt like it was a little Rorschachian. Your
Okay.
mother, the whore. Like, and also it's like, well, if she was such a whore, why would this man of such like? I guess wouldn't he have hid Edward? Like, I just feel like there were social norms played within the time setting that probably just didn't apply here. I don't know. I liked how scary the Riddler was. I appreciated how unpredictable he was. I liked how he went outside of his normal shtick to try to screw with Batman. The ending's a little weird for me because it didn't quite land. Because I'm like, well, what happened?
Mm-hmm.
If everyone's like, well, why? Well, how come all of a sudden Batman's now got balls to put out this recording and then just go pummel the Riddler? Well, I can't see him. Like, why did he wait so long? Why did so many people have to? I'm going to sound like some idiot on Twitter, but why did so many people have to die before Batman acted? It's like, what was he waiting for after the basketball court? Like, what was the problem here? So I have my issues. I don't think it's as good as everyone's been saying it is. I think it's a fascinating read, but I don't think this is Tom King's best work. I think there's some flaws there.
Well, it's because earlier you already said what his best Batman work is.
Yeah, but I don't. This is not in that realm. This isn't like this is.
You hear this, folks? Pete and I are on the This is our fight episode. Yeah, Pete and I have the different.
I think this is below Batman, in my opinion. His Batman.
Oh my goodness.
Like this is.
Oh my goodness, Peter.
I got in terms of like Tom King Batman, I've got like Killing Time, I've got Batcat, I've got Batman, then I got this.
Man. All right, Pete, let's make sure to rebound some point soon.
Well, I mean, sometimes you got to be put in your place.
You got to be put in your place, Peter.
No one's been able to do that yet.
Maybe no, because I don't know where we're gonna land this next one. Batman the Night, Pete's favorite book every month, number 8. So after this, we've got 2 issues left. Peter, what do you think of this month's issue?
I'm glad we got 2 issues left. Again, just tying in Ghostmaker to Batman's origin. It just feels so forced. I don't know who this professor is with the big house and the nice car, but it's okay. If anything, stop giving me Batman's origin, or stop telling me how Batman became Batman. I got it. It was year 1. I read it. That's all I need. Between this and 0 Year, I can forget a lot of things.
I'm just more disappointed in how much I really liked that first issue and thought this is going to be great. Go back
with the fake Catwoman. Yeah, it was nice.
And I was so excited for it. I'm like, this could actually be really cool. We've never had expanded of that story outside of Begins, but that was still a little bit short moment of time. And I was looking forward to it. And yeah, I'm getting more and more just this is a tough read. Getting Ghostmaker back in, it's like, do you guys not even remember what happened 2 issues ago with him? Like, he flat out murdered a dude, and yet Bruce is supposed to be like, you're my best pal, let's be best friends, which is kind of what happened in the main Batman book as well. Ghostmaker sucks. I don't like him. There's a tease that you're gonna go see this Ra's al Ghul character. I'm with you. I'm glad there's only 2 issues left. I've read 8. So I'm going to read 2 more and watch it. See how
the question for me is, do I buy them or do I just read them digitally? Because we know DC likes us a lot. Chances are I'm probably just going to read them digitally because
Yeah.
I'm just not enjoying this.
I don't think it's
Between
very
this and the Batman Beyond book, like I got some store credit coming. I'm selling these things back.
good. So yeah, meh, we're not feeling tonight. Batman Superman World's Finest #6. This is post that first arc in which it's them going to find Robin. Did I miss somewhere this is Dick Grayson Robin and not Tim Drake Robin?
No, but I believe it's established that it is a certain.
In this issue, it's established that it's Dick Grayson.
I believe it was established early on. I figured the Pixie Boots gave it away.
Well, I guess that the title card says the Flying Grayson, and then yeah, like
but even in issue 1, like I always assumed it was Dick Grayson just by the outfit.
Okay.
Yeah.
For some reason, I thought it was Tim Drake.
No.
And this is why I go back and reread issues, Peter.
I don't think Drake ever had a whole yellow. I mean, I'm sure Rob Myers or Haas can correct me on this, but I don't know if Tim Drake ever had a solid yellow cape. I thought that was a Jason Todd, Dick Grayson thing in the opposite order.
I liked this issue though. I thought it was fun. Old school circus. Batman and Superman have to go back and find a way to get Dick in the past and solve a little mystery at the time. And Batman's blue, has a yellow oval, looks good. It's not must read comic book material, but I mean it was fun. And that's kind of where it ends for me. Is like, this was fun. It's more fun than I've had with the book. Mostly.
For me, this is the best issue of the 6. It's got a nice 50s feel to it, going back in time, Batman and Superman to find Robin. And it does have a lot of classic moments. It feels very vintage, a lot of good detective work.
Super nipples. Extra point.
The bat nipple. All that stuff. This is a fun comic book. Like this is like your grandfather's comic
this
book.
Issue.
Oh, yeah.
Not this whole series, just this issue is really fun.
Specifically, this is like your grandfather's comic book. This is something he picked up at like the drugstore for like 15. That's the vibe I got from it. Just old school fun, just wonky comic book, just ridiculousness. Not as serious as something as like Batman 126. This is more the lighter side. And I've really enjoyed this. I thought this was a fantastic story to rebound from whatever the hell Mark Waid tried to do the first arc.
Yeah. I'm with you. Moving on. So this is the 4th of 5 Tuesdays, but this basically was the last one that had, because as we all know, in most of the time, months with 5 Tuesdays for DC, that last Tuesday is just kind of, I don't know. Doesn't usually have a ton of books.
Right. It's only got like the Flash and Wonder Woman, but those don't matter to Ryan Lauer.
They don't matter to the Batman book club. Detective Comics 1063. Pete, this is your book.
Oh, man. My book. Let's
strap in, people.
Riddle me this.
Yeah, there you go.
Scrubs.
Oh.
Have I reached my Ryan Lauer moment? Has my book become unbearable for me to read and write a review? I don't know. You tell me. I'm not feeling this. Again, Barbados, we're going back to R.I.P. Like, stay away. Oh, God, it's no, please. They're doing a bunch of crap on the 2 Batman titles I can't stand. Even Albuquerque's artwork seemed like it was off today. This month, I don't know. And it sucks because I love Ram V. His Catwoman is phenomenal. His Swamp Thing is absolutely brilliant. And Albuquerque's a name you've all come to know and love around the DC circuit. So to see these 2 guys come together and just muff this, I'm sorry. I'm not digging this at all.
I am digging it, but with hesitancy. I disagree on Albuquerque's art. I think his art is excellent. I love the atmosphere that it's created.
It doesn't feel like his art.
Very dark.
It feels rushed, I thought.
I think it definitely looks like his, but it's different too. And I do appreciate it. I like it. I like the vibe of this. My hesitancies and I'm not all in comes with the story, because you said like the Barbados stuff, which was also, I saw it was prevalent in RIP. I wasn't the biggest fan. And I even think when you say that word out loud, it feels silly. Barbados, like it just seems weird.
Yeah.
like the nerdy, I'm embarrassed to say this kind of weird.
It's like, why does Javi talk to us? He loves us.
Yeah, I know. He's not going to anymore. And
he's not going to talk to us. He'll still love it.
I feel like there is, I think Ram V, and this is the impression I've gotten, and this is just 2 issues with this story. He wants to make like one hell of a stamp on Detective Comics with a story, but it comes off as trying to be extremely artsy, extremely smart, and therefore to me sometimes it can come off a little pretentious. I think. I'm not saying that it needs to be a dumb story or anything like that at all. I just feel like it's feeling a little scattered, and you've got Batman going through some kind of dilemma where I think he is envisioning this Barbados character plus this other society I don't know, that are in Gotham now and killing some people, plus some other people that are coming in and now retroactively saying that they were part of the Arkham family, but they have different names. I don't like retroactive stuff like that, where we're going to come in and say everything else is false and this is new.
Retcon,
that's a hard sell to me. And then on top of that, you have something that's making their faces glow with weird symbols too. And I'm like,
the powder thing was weird. I was like, what is this? At first I thought it was like a serum.
And it gets me like, yeah. And then there is whatever the music box that he's trying to lean into. And then, I mean, the dialogue, what Barbados says there at the end of that page long, like, dialogue. And I think it's trying to talk about like reading, notes or musical keys or something. And I'm kind of like, wait, what? And then bringing in Harvey Dent to try and, which I'm intrigued enough with him and wearing.
That was probably the best part of the book.
This is going to be an opera piece, like an operatic approach that Bromby's having to the book. I think he's even said that before. And this too, of the Phantom of the Opera mask, it seems, over Harvey's bad side, and like he's trying to conceal that. But then you got these other dudes that are like, no, don't hide your true fate, stuff like that. And I'm like, okay, this is cool. I'm cool to see where this goes. But there's just a lot of things juggling, and I know that's the evolution of a story, is watching how they connect and hopefully connect in a cool way for a great payoff. Right now, I'm not all in on that. It feels a little scattered, and and everything, like I just said.
You could see why a lot of this stuff works on Swamp Thing, though. Like you could see, like, I could see why this mythical kind of science fiction stuff works for a Swamp Thing book. Yeah, the Harvey Dent stuff is the only thing that's really keeping me invested in the story, because that opening scene with him and Harvey in like the nightclub or whatever was pretty good. It's probably the best the book was.
I thought that was good too. So, I mean, I'm gonna keep moving along. I like it more than Pete does, but it's not an instant. It's not an A. It's like a B minus.
And the backup story is even worse. I
didn't like the backup story at all.
Really, I couldn't make it through. It was horrible.
I did, just because I'm a completist.
Make sure Bill does not send this episode to Clark Ball.
Well, this is where we rebound though, because I think Batman Fortress #4. I love this series,
dude. How crazy is it?
This
is a series that we don't normally like, but it's very well written, and we're into it.
It's very well written. I completely agree with what you said last month of artist Derek Robertson's up close faces are strange, especially Bruce's. Bruce's is weird. I'll give you that for sure.
That nose is very strange.
But other than that, I just think this book is such a breeze. It's interesting. I don't know where it's going to go next. I like the surprises.
You don't never, because did you expect Detective Chimp to pop up in this book? And did you expect that Green Lantern, whose name I can't pronounce, to pop up in this book?
No.
Of all the Green Lanterns.
And look how perfectly illustrated Detective Chimp is. He looks awesome. Like, my God,
he hasn't looked that good since Tynan's Justice League Dark.
It's so, So, I don't know. I just think that the story's really fun. It's a mystery at heart. There isn't a ton of action, but there's a little action, and it's a lot of
dialogue.
But Lex Luthor surprises you, but then also makes you think, well, of course, he's Lex Luthor with what he's doing. And so I'm having a blast with Batman Fortress. I really, really like this story, and this is the halfway point. So 8 issues too. So it's hitting that sweet spot.
It. I love it. I think it's great.
Mm-hmm. There you go. Justice League story designed as a Batman story. And I
don't even know if you can call it that. There's no Justice League.
Not anymore. there was there for a little bit of time, and then these new alien dudes just they took him out. So we'll have a payoff with that because they abducted some, they killed Cyborg, but then I think they took Aquaman and Wonder Woman and Flash. I think Flash is injured,
Yeah.
and
Superman's
like
MIA.
I feel like it's gonna build to a really big action piece with Batman leading the rest of the league or saving them or something.
And
So
we get multiple shots of the Batman 89 Batwing again.
yeah, again, which looks great.
Again.
Looks wonderful. I think it's an awesome story. I'm a big fan. And that does it for the main Batman titled books. My honorable mentions are quick, Peter. Poison Ivy #3 continues this story, which it got picked up. I think it was initially going to be 6, and now it's going to be a 12-issue series.
Great.
So that's
how
exciting.
I love Maxis.
It's a good.
This was a brilliant issue.
Good. Good news that and showing their faith in just the response to the first 2 issues, and then that announcement came. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, I like it.
G. Willow Wilson is one hell of a writer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's really entertaining to me. I'm a fan. I know, Pete, how you feel about this. Jurassic League #4.
I dropped it, man.
With you. I don't fully disagree with you on it's silly, but also my completist nature a little bit. I bought the first 3 issues. I bought this issue, and it is it's fun. Did you read this one?
No, I did not.
Are you ever going to?
I will listen to the Ryan Lauer Cliff Notes.
All right, well, I'm going to show you this, Pete.
All right, you show me that.
Your boy finally showed up.
What is his name?
His name. Let's see. So, the dinosaur version of Uxas. He says, fuel from the weaklings on this pitiful earth. My life energy from my own warriors has finally led to my true form. Darkuloside is coming for you. It's like Darkuloside.
Well, I prefer
go buy the issue, Pete. Come on.
Uxasaurus.
There you go. I think that would have worked a lot better. Uxasaurus.
Uxasaurus.
Otherwise it's a little bit. It is more of the same. If you weren't liking it, nothing's gonna change. It's fun. It's ridiculous, bonkers. But that's okay. That's kind of what I expected. There's only 2 issues left. It's not a deep story, so it's easy entertainment for me. Cool. Nightwing #95 was another good street level action packed story with a great cliffhanger at the end. It's a comfortable series. Remains a comfortable series.
I agree.
Doesn't push the envelope, but I think I don't. I'm not saying I can predict what's going to happen. I know what to expect of in the end of oh yeah, this is going to be a 15-minute read and comfy, and I'll get to it. And I'm enjoying it. It's still, still enjoyable to me. Task Force Z,
that was
penultimate issue. Task Force Z #11. 12 drops next month and wraps everything up. That one is also a very fun story to me, and I'm excited to see how it ends.
Lots of twists and turns in Task Force C. I didn't expect a lot of them, so that's been a great read. Batgirls, lots of fun as always. I highly suggest everyone pick this book up. It's not really heavy. It's very Nightwing. It's very comfortable, like Ryan said. It's going to take you 10-15 minutes to read it, and by the end of it, you're going to have a blast in Gotham City. So it's cool to see Steph, Cassie, and Babs all together. The cover's hysterical, and it really is probably the second most fun I have reading a book every month, because then the other one is Future State Gotham, which is absolutely insane. I highly ask all of you to go out and support this book. We've got, I'll tell you right, okay, this is why. You've got Nightwing Batman, you've got Jace Batman, you've got Bruce Wayne Batman, you've got Damian Wayne Batman, you've got Hush Batman, all trying to take over the city. It's really an insane battle royale of Batman, and you guys, and we haven't even gotten to the best part about it, which was 3 issues ago. The actual Joker returned, the OG Joker. So there's just so many twists and turns, and you never know what's going to happen in this book. It is one of my most favorite Elseworlds tales ever, Future State Gotham. There's just so much fun in that book at all times. Also, Harley Quinn had a double issue this month, 1920. I believe it was Task Force X. If you ever want to see Harley Quinn in an alien movie, read this story. this was phenomenal. It ties into normal DC continuity. The Justice League is gone, and what's his name? Luke Fox assembles a team for whatever reason, and Harley Quinn's leading it, and it's absolutely insane. So make sure you check that out. And if you want to see a cooler version of Ghostmaker, pick up Catwoman, because his name's Valiant, and that book is also awesome as well. So make sure you check that stuff out. Oh, also, Tom Taylor's back with a new Deceased, War of the Undead Gods. Batman is a part of that. It is the Damian Wayne version of Batman, different universe, but there's a lot of good Alfred moments there, because earlier on, Alfred did not know what was going on, and he fatally shot Bruce, Tim, and Dick, I believe, in issue 1 of Deceased. Way
It's
back
not Bruce
when.
Tim?
Bruce, Tim, and Dick. Yeah.
Bruce,
So,
not Bruce
yeah.
Tim.
So
the
Alfred
Bruce
was
Tim,
dealing
okay.
with that, because now they found a cure, and now it's weighing on him. So Damian, again, another interesting interpretation of Damian Wayne, who has almost had a Jason Todd like resurgence within the past couple of years. So Deceased, War of the Undead Gods. The new gods are all possessed with this zombie virus thing. So check that out if you haven't been reading it. Chances are most of you are, because it's Tom Taylor, and everyone loves Tom Taylor.
There you go. Woo!
That's
And
it.
Pete, that wraps up Batman in August. It was a good month. Maybe not for you so much, because there was quite a few you didn't enjoy.
It wasn't my best Bat month, was
Not
it?
your best one. That's okay.
I'm still reading though. Still reading.
You're a loyal fan. So there you go. I look forward to. Yeah, I look forward to next month. There's going to be there's a lot riding on certain stories for next month in their next issue. We'll say that much.
Summer coming to an end.
And then then we'll see where things go. So I have to ask you, Pete, what was your favorite book of the month?
Wow. Man, that is tough.
It's narrowed down for sure.
I'm having a hard time. It's wow. I don't have a favorite book. There's book like I really enjoyed the Harley Quinn issues. Killing Time's always great. It's tough. It's like a 3-way tie for first. The good definitely outweighs the bad. I'll say that much, because I definitely have like issues.
You listed two. You said Harley Quinn, and then
Killing Time.
Killing Time.
Yeah.
What's a third? You said 3-way tie.
It'd be Deceased, War of the Undead Gods.
Deceased. Okay.
Yeah.
Mine is probably Batman Fortress number 4.
That's another one I forgot. It's
loved it. Want to read it again.
The books that were good were really good, and the books that were bad were just really bad. So,
all right.
Sorry, Clark.
I'll put out that poll. So head to the Batman Book Club Twitter at the Batman BC for the poll of what your favorite Batman book of the month is. I'd like to hear what everybody else thinks. And so, Pete, thanks again for joining me on the monthly wrap up. Always look forward to my conversations with Peter R. Verra. The ones that are strictly Batman focused are always a joy. So thanks for coming back.
What else do you talk about?
I don't know, stuff that you and I, when we call each other and talk, it's not always about Batman. So
it's not.
It's 95%. But that other 5% gets pretty rowdy. So there you go. Why don't you go ahead and plug away before we get in trouble?
You can follow me on social media. It's Twitter, Instagram, and Zack Snyder's favorite platform, Vero, at Pete Illustrated. You can follow podcast number 1 at straight_O_G. That is Straight Out of Gotham. That is a fanboy news-based podcast that I co-host with the Coli, Eric Holzman. You can follow podcast number 2, the Italian Spider-Man Coalition podcast. That's a Spider-Man themed podcast that I co-host with Chicago's finalists, Nicholas and Nico Caruso. So check that out at Italians for Spidey on Twitter and on your podcast feeds. Check out at Team Yellow Oval. We know Batgirl got canceled. We're sorry about that, but Keaton's still coming in the Flash. So we're excited about that. And there's been a lot of Oval popping up in comics. So we're really pumped about that. That's where the Oval belongs, back in print. I'm all over BatmanOnFilm.com, all over Batman on Film, YouTube, toy reviews, comic book reviews, movie reviews, interviews, all that stuff. So check me out over there. And I think that's it, Ryan.
That's it? Wow.
Sounds like it.
Slacking. Well, as I just said, you can follow the Batman Book Club on Twitter at the Batman BC. Also on Instagram at the Batman BC. Make sure to go to YouTube and subscribe to the Batman Book Club YouTube channel to watch Pete and I. Yes, you can watch our faces as we talk about Return to No Man's Land. If you want to support the show, or if you want to write into the show, actually been getting some emails lately, which have been very nice. Not questions for the show specifically, but just kind words about the show. So that's very appreciated from everybody. You can write in the batmanbc at gmail.com. If you want to support the show, there's a variety of ways you can do that. One is go to Batman on Film, where I have, this month was a busy Batman month, Pete, for the Batman Book Club, and then also on Batman on Film, because I did get to sit down and talk with Sean Murphy again for the BOF podcast. So make sure to track that down, because Sean is awesome. He's very generous with information and his time. Really cool guy to talk to. The last month on the Batman Book Club, or the last episode, was with his pal, and Sean Murphy's pal and partner Clay McCormick, who, you know, the two of them work together on the White Knight Red Hood story. Make sure you listen to that. Also, with Ryan Haas, the sheriff, we kicked off a BOF podcast, Batman Animation, where we explored a really an underrated gem, if you will, in Batman animation. So check that out. But then also, if you want to support the show, you can do it by rating and reviewing the show wherever you listen to it, whatever podcast platform, whether it's Apple, Google, Spotify, Amazon, iHeartRadio. Just rate and review the show, because the more reviews it gets, the more it helps spread the word. And as we all know, the word is panic. So for Peter R. Verra, I am Ryan Lauer. And until next time, read more Batman comics.